So I'm just going to discard this water that we took out of the old gtube, and I don't need that anymore. So now this is ready to pull out, and once I pull it out, I'm going to take the new one and just slide it in its place. Make sure it's got plenty of lube on there. There's going to be a hole, and this needs to be done quickly. You don't want to, pull it out and then work on something else for a minute before you come back. These holes can fill up pretty quickly. I think it needs to be within 5 minutes or so, or else it'll close itself up and you have to go to the hospital. We'll have to grab it with my fingers. Okay, so I'll just leave it open for a second so you can take a look at the hole if you want to look. Okay, ready? So, out with the old, and there's the hole. Don't want to leave that open, so in with the new, and it went in there pretty easily. There we go. So now I'm going to fill the balloon with water. I'll just put it back at 4 mLs because that's what the old one had. So I had 5 and I just put in 4. It's got 1 ml left. And just remove the syringe. It's and it was stuck a little bit in there. You can see the old one. It's a little bit dirty.
Right.
This is inside the stomach with all the gastric acids and everything. So after a while, it will kind of start getting eaten up. It's also a little bit dirty on the inside. You can see some dark stuff in there. So we thought it was a good time to change it out. So throw that one out and clean her up a little bit. I squirted some water at the end. There you go. So it's inserted. The G-tube, of course, can be rotated if you need to clean around it or anything. You want to keep it clean at that point there, which you can do pretty easily with some gauze pads. So I'm just going to dry it up because I accidentally squirted some water there at the end. Just slide it underneath, slide it through around the edges. That helps make sure to get all the moisture. There it is. And we always put a dressing around it because it does leak a little bit of fluids, which is okay as long as it's not leaking a lot. Put this dressing on it.
It has a split.
Where is it? I grabbed the wrong packet, I think. Here we go. This kind of gauze we prefer because it's already split down the middle, so you can just slide it right over the G-tube. So there you go. It doesn't really matter how you stick it in. I prefer to put the split end on the top just because my way of thinking is if anything leaks out of her stomach when she's standing up, the gravity will make it flow downward, and I'd rather have more gauze there, but it doesn't really matter. And then we put a little bit of tape.
Right here.
And this tape, if you put a lot of pressure, in opposite directions, it tears pretty easily. So I use about a half a strip in each direction. Put one over the balloon insertion, and then I'm going to open this one up here so I can tape this end. When you open it up, stuff can come out of her stomach, so you don't want to leave it open too quickly. That hole right there goes directly into her stomach. And close back up. You can kind of feel it snap in there. You want to make sure it's closed all the way. So I did feel a little snap, so I know it's closed. The next thing we're going to do is put the gtube extension into this hole. That's where her feeds go.
And we change that every week, once a week.
Yeah, the extension is changed once a week.
The gtube we change every 3 months.
So here is the gtube extension. So it's got a clamp right here. You want that to be closed. Close the top end. This is where the feeding tube goes in. This is the medicine port for giving medications. And this goes directly into the gtube. You see it's got a little mark right here, the little black mark that shows you where you need to insert it. It needs to be aligned with the black mark that's here on top of the gtube. So you line those up, insert it directly into the hole, and want to make sure that's in all the way, and then you move it clockwise to lock it in. It needs to turn at least a quarter of a turn to lock into place. We turn it, I guess, about a little over 180, and then we keep it pointing downward. Just makes it easy to put our clothes on and stuff. And we like to use a grip lock to help hold it in place here on her side. Let me see if I got one. Here we go.
This is a medium-sized grip lock.
Medium grip lock. These grip locks probably need to be replaced every 2 or 3 days at the least minimum, because if it loses the grip on the tube, then it can actually pull on her G-tube, and you don't want it to pull because it could pull out. It could cause her some discomfort as well. So make sure that the adhesion stays there. It needs to be replaced every couple of days to do that. So this is just going to go on right there. Just peel the backing off, and of course you can place it anywhere. We like to keep it, so it's not on top of her central line dressing, and try to keep in mind where the diaper is going to be. It seems to work best if it's slightly above where the diaper connects, because then diaper's not in the way. This is the way I place it. My wife may do it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
This pulls back, and there's another little piece of backing right there. So this part right here is pretty sticky. That's going to hold your G-tube in place, and that's what you want to make sure keeps its adhesiveness. You want to have a little bit of slack in this tube. You don't want it to be too tight so that it's pulling on her. Just leave a little bit of slack there, and set it right in there. See that? And then fold that over, and now it's pretty secure. So it can pull on a little bit. It shouldn't slide through here. If it's sliding through, then it's time to replace your grip lock. So that's it. Like I said, sometimes at night I might put it underneath the diaper to secure it a little bit better, but you can put it under or above, however. That's why we stick it up here so it's not in the way of the diaper. And there you go. She's all set.